Let's look at some applications. How do you tell which application problem can be solved using a system of equations? You first read it, and then you decide, does the problem involve more than one unknown quantity? And secondly, can you find two or more equations in that problem that need to be satisfied? Let's look at example 1 on page 487, number 81. A grocer sells oranges for 95 cents each, grapefruits for $1.05. You purchase a mix of 16 and you pay $15.90. How many of each type of fruit did you buy? All right, so the first thing we're going to need to do is decide what our variables are going to stand for. Let's let x be oranges and y be grapefruits. We're going to set up our equations. We know that we bought 16, x plus y equals 16. Let's put in here that oranges cost 95 and grapefruits cost $1.05. So 95 cents times x plus $1.05 times y equals $15.90. Now in this case, let's see if we can solve this by hand. I'm not sure how far we'll get. We may resort to the calculator a little bit here, but we do substitute in y has to equal $15.90. So we go to the calculator and we find that x is equal to 9 oranges and y is equal to 16 minus x, or 7 grapefruits. All right, so let's go back and put our answer into this question, namely 9 oranges and 7 grapefruits. Let's do another problem. This time let's find a point of equilibrium. Point of equilibrium will be when supply is equal to demand. Now notice here they gave us both equations as P equals. That's handy. We won't have to do any solving to get one equation in terms of the other. All we'll have to do is let's write down our two equations so that we can see them. 100 minus 0.05x is demand. 25 plus 0.1x is supply. And then what we're going to do is determine that P is price, x is the number of units, and we're just going to set one equation equal to the other equation. And we'll do a little algebra here. We end up with x is 500 units. That's how many will make equilibrium at a price. So wait a minute here, we get our computation done. And the price that we'll have to set to have equilibrium is $75. So the point of equilibrium comes at 500 units at $75 a piece. Okay, so the price is 75 with 500 units, and that makes demand equal supply. Right, let's do another problem. Revenues for a movie rental store on a particular Friday night are $876.50 for 310 rentals. The rental fee for movies is $3 and for video games is $2.50. We want to determine how many of each are rented that evening. So we need to set up some equations, but first let's determine that x is going to be the number of movies, y will be the number of video games. All right, we know that x plus y equals 310, and we know that 3x plus 250y is equal to $867.50. So we can do a substitution. This is an easy substitution problem, and we'll have the following equation. Now, let's go to the calculator to solve that particular equation for y. So we're going to do solve here, and we're going to type in our equation. Now, y is the number of video games. So it looks like we've rented 125 video games. 310 minus 125 then is going to tell us how many movies were rented. 185 movies. So let's go back and complete the problem that we were working on, we get then that y was 125 from the calculator and 185 movies. Let's put our answer in. We rented 125 video games and 185 movies.